Welcome to the next community choice video, guys. Today we're gonna do a guide on the Dark Fae. That's what won the poll for this week. If you guys did not have a chance to vote for it just yet, keep an eye on it. Monday we will have the new things going on in here for the next community choice video. But this week we have the Dark Fae that won it, so we're going to do a guide on it. Now I'm going to try to give you as many options as possible in terms of champions. I'm going to give you as many ideas as we can get from here. And keep in mind, this is a guide to give you the recipe to defeat the boss. Do not focus on specific champions saying that I don't have this champion, because then you will never be able to beat this boss. You need to kind of like open up the ears and pay attention to every single step in order to easily defeat this boss. My grade haul, guys, in terms of area bonuses, I have 0 from the Doom Tower, and I'm not planning to put any in them anytime soon. Just kind of like to give you guys an idea of what is happening there. The Dark Fae, I am currently on a hard mode on the Doom Tower, guys, how you may notice right here. And yes, this one right here is a team that can defeat the Dark Fae. Full auto, I don't have to do anything. Now, it all has to do with how you're setting up your team preset, and it all has to do with the champions that you have in. But it doesn't matter that you don't have Deacon. It doesn't matter that you don't have Alika or Royal Guard. You need to follow the right buffs, debuffs, in order to be able to beat this boss. So I'm quickly going to explain you what this boss does. There's a lot of damage. He's going to mirror copy your exact team. So if you have Reaction on your team, if you have Stone Skin on your team, if they have Masteries, Books, etc., the boss will copy your exact team exactly how you have it. And they will have all of their skills available when they get to take a turn, basically. So you need to kill them before they get to move. That's very, very important. Now the boss will do different things based on each one of the affinities that you have in the team. Is not as important as long as you're basically trying to get the boss down without even taking a turn. Now on hard mode, you need to have quite a bit of speed, 220, 230 plus on your champions mainly, and you need to have 300 plus accuracy in order to debuff the boss. So this one right here at the very top is my team. I am not using a lure for a very, very long time. So this one at the top, 1 minute straight farm. Then I actually made quite a few different teams right here. Each one of these teams will be able to defeat the Dark Fae, guys. I'm going to move myself to the side just so you guys can see everything better. So the very first thing that you need to have in here is a turn meter booster. Why you want to have a turn meter booster? Because you want to make a preset where as soon as you get at the boss, your turn meter booster, being the fastest champion, will give you increased turn meter. So like this, your Nuker will get to move and wipe the enemy team. And then the boss is fine. You're going to deal with the boss slowly by controlling the turn meter. Now, thankfully, 2024, we have tons and tons of different champions that do turn meter manipulation, that are turn meter boosters. So right here, I gave you a few pretty straightforward options. You have Gorgorab, you have York, which increases the turn meter and increases the attack. High Khatoon, free champion for everyone, gives you increased speed, increased turn meter, decreases the enemy turn meter, speed aura, so she will be very, very effective. The next thing that you want to have in there is preferably a Cold Heart. Now, if you don't have a Cold Heart, Armiger is the best replacement. The reason for it, you have turn meter manipulation and you have enemy max HP damage. Again, very, very important. The next thing that you want to have again is another champion that can manipulate the turn meter on the boss. Now, it doesn't matter if he's a Royal Guard, if he's a Cold Heart, if he's a Soulbound, the rare character that you see right here, or if you are bringing in a different character like Shatterbones that can manipulate the turn meter. Then you need to have a good Nuker capable to kill your team. The main thing is you don't want to bring in crazy tanky champions into this fight, because what's going to happen, your Nuker will fail to kill your tanky champions that the boss will mirror copy, and your team will basically fail in here. So that's very, very important to avoid in doing. Decreased speed is going to be very important if you're planning to keep the boss under control and do not allow the boss to take a turn at any cost. Is going to be very, very important. Let's start with the very first team that we are going to run, guys. This one right here at the top. I'm going to show you the presets, and you're going to have to do the exact same thing for pretty much each one of the teams individually, depending on what you're using. Now, there are other Termiter boosters in the game. Arbiter can play a pretty good role in here too. You want to make sure you're going to be able to kill her though. Then, of course, there are other epic champions that increase speed, boost Termiter that I don't have right here. There are some from the Sylvan Watchers, some from the Shadow Kings. Most of the factions have them now. Presets are very important if you're planning to do this on Oro. Now, the waves are not an issue, especially on the last floor. So the main thing that you kind of like need to worry about is the part when you're getting at the boss. So this is my Deacon Armstrong, 280 speed, 400 accuracy. You don't need 280 speed. You just need to ensure that he's faster than the boss, and he is the fastest champion in the entire team. Then, on round 2, he's not allowed to use the A2 or the A3. Unless he has the A3 available, he can open with that, and that's it. On round 3, he's going to open with the A3, give me Termiter, decrease the Termiter on the enemies, and put defense down. Now, it's not a necessity to have that defense down there, but it does help with your Nuker. Then the second fastest champion for me is going to be Alika. She is the Nuker that we are going to use in here. We have 248 speed, 294 accuracy. If by any chance we don't kill them all, we're going to have a chance to lock the skills with Alika because of her A3. 6k attack. She's a decent, she has a decent build, right? She doesn't have the craziest build. Royal Guard, I don't think he's the next champion in terms of speed. I think he's Coldheart. That's my Coldheart right here. I am using her on the Shogun, so I do have a bit of accuracy, which is not really relevant to the Shogun, but is relevant to the Dark Fate, 237 speed. Keep in mind, we do have the speed aura from Deacon as well. Then we have Soulbound, 231 speed. She doesn't require full crit rate either. She is on a stun set, 320 accuracy. She has this skill that fully depletes the target's Termiter. So this can be very effective. Now, there are other rare champions that can do so, and they don't really bring much else to the table. I will show you a couple of different epics, but we're going to go to the index for that. I hate that when I'm doing the preset, I don't have the option to search the champion or do a nice filtering. So it's a pain to find all of the champions that I want to put different teams. And Royal Guard right here. So Royal Guard is not allowed to use the A2 and the A3 on the second round. He's going to open with the A3 to manipulate the Termiter and put decreased speed on the boss. Alika will not use the A3 on the second round. She will open with that once we get at the boss. Soulbound, she's not allowed to use the A3 on the second round, only on the third one. And then Coldheart, the same situation with her Heartseeker. She can only use it on round 3. Presets are very, very important. You want to have all these skills available. But let's crack on with the run, guys. So the waves are really not a problem whatsoever. You're going to be able to deal with this pretty easily, I would say. They don't require any crazy damage to take them down, any crazy AoEs. They're slow, so they're not really going to take many turns. If they will take any turns, probably they won't kill anyone in your team because they're not that hardcore, you know? Like, look at the damage that they're dealing, you see. Even though we're taking a bit of damage from there, it's fine. So here is where all the magic happens. You have Deacon dropping the Termiter, then you have your Nuker wiping everyone off, and then you have all of your champions dropping the Termiter on the boss. Very, very important. You're basically keeping the boss under control. Then the enemy max HP nukes come in play, and right here the boss stole our Alika. So right now we cannot use Alika, but we need to deal damage to kill her ASAP so we can get her back. We got our Alika back, and from here on again, it's all about controlling the Termiter. Very, very important to manipulate that Termiter on the boss. Of course, we don't have increased speed on the team. Even though we have Deacon Armstrong giving us a bit of Termiter, is not really the same, you know? And slowly you just want to kill the boss, you see? We have the Heartseeker from Coldheart. We have the A3 from Royal Guard that put that decreased speed. Then we have the A3 from Soulbound that drops the Termiter. You have the enemy max HP nuke coming in from Royal Guard. Again, Deacon boosting the Termiter, dropping a bit of Termiter on the boss. And having Evil Eye Masteries helps a lot as well. That's something that I'm lacking on most of the champions because I don't really use that anymore on them because I don't really need it for other bosses and stuff. but that is something that can help you a lot. Every time you're using the basic skill, you are basically dropping a bit the thermitter. Now, this run is not even going too well, because we took quite a bit of damage. The previous run that I was doing with this team, it was a breeze, basically. The boss barely had a chance to move. Most of the damage comes from Coldheart, Royal Guard, and Alika. Soulbound barely dealt any damage. He's mainly in there to manipulate the thermitter. The enemy max HP is what kills this boss. Decreased speed is crucial. Thermitter manipulation is crucial. The recipe to succeed is having the right preset on your team. So that's one example. Now, all of these teams that I showed you right here, guys, every single one of them can do it because they all follow the exact same principles. We have thermitter manipulation, we have decreased speed, we have a bit of damage in here. So we have everything that we need in order to deal with the boss. Same situation with this team right here. Same situation with this team right here. I don't have all of these champions built to be able to kind of like show you multiple ones. This is the team that I'm running, and I'm quickly going to show you the preset. Now, in my case, when I actually created this team, we did not have any presets. So I came up with the Hundic strategy, where basically with the A1, he resets the cooldowns of the skills and grants that extra turn. So like this, I was able to always kill the champion and nuke everybody down with Hundic. So he needs to be the fastest in the team. And the preset on him doesn't matter. The presets don't really matter as much in here. Of course, for Lissandra, I don't want her to use the A2 and the A3 on the second wave. I want that to have to be available at the boss to get energized, to get increased speed, get their meter, and allow me to rotate. And same with Newt. We're not using the A2 there. It doesn't really matter. We'll open with the A1 to drop a bit the thermitter. He's not using them on the second round. Royal Guard, the same sort of situation. He's going to have them all available for the boss. And same with Coldheart, But the main thing with the Nuker here works a bit differently. So the main strategy is that Lissandra is the lead. Hundig with the A1 will attack Lissandra. So you want to ensure that your Nuker will have enough firepower to take down the leader of the team, which is Lissandra. So what I've done, I removed a lot of gear from Lissandra. I have a lot of damage gear on her rather than survivability, just to ensure that she's going to get one tapped, So let me just quickly show you how my team works, for example. This is much faster. Usually it's at around 60 seconds per farm, You see, Hundic has this amazing mechanic on the A1 where he can do that. Plus, he brings thermitter manipulation. So every single champion I have in this team has thermitter manipulation, That's kind of like the key. Now, you can do it without. It's going to be so much harder if you cannot manipulate the boss because he's going to take your champions away. He's going to do other crazy things. And the longer you are in the fight with this boss, the more painful it gets because he's building up a stack. She's building up a stack right here. That, again, it will mirror copy all of your team. And that will basically leave you with no team. So when she's mirror copying your team, it's pretty much game over, So that's a thing that you want to avoid. That's why thermitter manipulation is king. But how I mentioned, we have plenty of champions in the game that can do thermitter manipulation in 2024. And it's much, much easier and more accessible for the majority of the players to get this boss done, comparing it with what we had when they released it, So pretty straightforward. Best 38 turns, exactly 60 seconds on the dot. Newt with most of the damage because of the AoE attack as well. So that's a pretty straightforward guide for the Dark Fae. If you're focusing on the champions and you're going to comment that I don't have Royal Guard, I don't have this, and you're not paying attention to what I've told you, you're not going to be able to defeat it. Now, let me just quickly give you a couple of different examples of champions that work great in the Dark Fae. Leech. So Leech has decreased speed and fully depletes the thermitter. He can replace Soulbound. He can even replace Coldheart, for example. But you do need to kind of like make up for the damage to ensure that you will kill the boss and you're not going to be there all day, But Leech is a very, very good champion because of this skill. Let's just say you don't have him, but maybe you have Stitch Beast, a rare champion, that has pretty much the same thing. Attacks one enemy, decreases the target's thermitter by 100%. Now, the only problem is that this is on a 4-turn cooldown, while the one from Leech is on a 3-turn cooldown. If you give him a Relentless or a Reflex, you can make it happen every second turn, you know, and that's gonna be much better. Another champion that I really like for this boss and even for the faction war boss is actually Killing the Shrike. So Killing the Shrike attacks one enemy 2 times. The first hit decreases the turn meter by 50%. The second places decreased speed. Bang! You basically shoot 2 birds with 1 stone with this champion. Then he brings Weaken. He deals a bit of damage too. And overall, yeah, I think he's a very solid option. He can replace your Royal Guard, for example, you know. Let's just say you don't have Royal Guard. You might have Killing the Shrike. Then, you need a different turn meter booster than the ones that I showed you. You have Warnen the Silken. She can increase the turn meter. She can increase the speed. She has a speed aura for faction creeps, but she has a revive in case if any of your champions die. She has a decreased attack on the A1. So she's a very solid option too. How I mentioned, you really have a lot of available options for this right now. Ruella, she's nice too. She can steal a bit of turn meter with the A1. She brings a lot of debuffs, decreased speed, and she gives turn meter, but she doesn't decreases the turn meter from the boss. From the Shadowkin, you can get a good nuker, for example. You have Nogorio, which is amazing as a AoE nuker. You know, he's gonna wipe the enemy team without a problem. You can have Gembo as a nuker. He's gonna wipe the enemy team. From the dwarves as well, you have, again, good damage with, where is she? Morag. Morag is gonna be pretty solid. AoE damage, she will one-shot pretty much everyone if you build her right. Fobdor is gonna be pretty nice because of the defense down, but he's not really gonna help you much on the boss, so I wouldn't personally recommend you to use that particular champion. Gala can replace one of the enemy max HP if you need the damage. You know, you have tons and tons of different options in the game now to help you with this boss. Whisper can be a very good damage dealer versus that boss. Malkit, I don't think he does turn meter manipulation. No, he doesn't. So we're gonna ignore him. He's now what we're looking for. Golden Reaper can be a turn meter booster too. You know, you have increased speed, you have turn meter. Why not? Decrease attack, she's gonna help you, you know. Plus the A1 can be nice. So you have so many different options, guys. But let me just quickly show you the builds on the team that we use. So do keep in mind, I was doing Doom Tower hard mode, okay? If you are on normal mode, kind of like tune everything down to your own level, you will need to get around 200 plus speed, and you will need to get 200 plus accuracy for normal mode on floor 120. But if we start with Soulbound Buyer, she's on a stun set. Yeah, she has a pretty nice build because I am using her in quite a few different areas, like secret rooms or Curse City. But this is what I have in terms of stats. Let me just move my big head back to the other side now. So right here, pretty straightforward with her as well. Then we have Deacon, couple of speed stats and a perception. Total stats right here. So I have nothing on the area bonuses, guys. No masteries on him. Soulbound, no masteries on her either. Because yeah, why not? Then we have Coldheart. She does have Giant Slayer as masteries, offense and support. And I have her built on a Savage and a Speed set. These are her total stats. So I have decent stats on this Coldheart. 263 damage, 230 speed, 380 accuracy, which is an overkill. You don't need that much accuracy. But again, turn it down to your own level. Lower the crit damage. If that's a struggle for you, lower the crit damage to get the accuracy. You know, it's not a problem. You're still going to hit the 10% cap on the boss. So nothing to worry about. Maya Lika, she's on a lethal set. She doesn't have the full stone skin set because I removed that. You do not want to take something like that in there. Total stats on her. 6.1k attack, 248 speed, full crit, 257 crit damage, 294 accuracy. Now, the reason why I have these stats on her, she has a blessing and she's empowered at +4. So the empowerment and the blessing gives me 1k attack, gives me 10 speed, gives me 40 plus crit damage, gives me 100 accuracy. So it's fine if you cannot get the exact same stats, but you need a champion to be able to nuke, you know. So that's very, very important. Then Royal Guard, he's on Savage and Speed. This is a very old build that I used to run in the Fire Knight on stage 25. My god, it's been ages. 222 speed, full crit, 260 crit damage, 350 accuracy. Masteries on Royal Guard, we have Helm Smasher as tier 6. Sniper, just to help with the A3 and the decreased speed. On Alika, these are the masteries. I think I forgot to show them. Helm Smasher as tier 6. She's mainly built to deal damage. And that would do the team, guys. Herndик, that's kind of like what sort of stats you need on him to ensure that every single time he will one-tap the enemies if you're running him. 6,000 attack. I don't have a blessing. 260 speed. Full crit. 260 crit damage. 330 accuracy. It does need accuracy to land the debuffs. Then this is Lysandra. She doesn't have a ring. She is built on a crit damage, a perception, and a speed. And I try to basically lower the survivability on her as much as possible. But just as an idea, if you guys kind of like want to use something different, you know. That was all for the video, guys. Hopefully you found it helpful. Keep in mind, focus the recipe over the champions. That is the key to success. Much love, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.